the installment of the Hall of Game podcast. I definitely apologize. Usually I like to run it daily if I can, but you guys know this month I have not been live streaming for a few reasons. One of them is that the power's been going out, and so when the power goes out, obviously you can't do shit. So that's just one of the reasons. And also, just with the time and all of that, sleep schedules have been changing, and I've been putting a lot of pre-recorded content also, so that's been kind of holding me back. But we're hoping to get back. Anybody that's supposed to do collabs with, I will get caught up on. I see Brother K Zagging. I am going to get caught up in those by the end of the month. So anybody that's supposed to do collaborations with, as long as the power is up, I will honor those collabs. But back to the Hall. Today we got a great topic by the brother, the newly minted Dr. D. He sent me this topic. I think this was a few days ago, and I told him we was going to run it today. Now that I have power, and hopefully the power don't go out on this show. But it's should I use my money and success as a black man to obtain women? Right? Should I lead with that? Shout out to Brother Asquith from Canada and everybody in the chat. I'll let everybody introduce themselves. We'll start off with the brother, the newly minted Dr. D, and we'll work our way up to Gabe. We'll go to Dr. D, Wrench, Hassani, Gabe. Go ahead, Doc.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Dix. This is my real name. Coming straight from South Carolina. Just here with a great group of guys to get some input on the topic, and looking forward to collaborating as usual and having some fun with it.
All right, good deal. I'll go ahead and take off. Name is Wrench Turner. In the Facebook group, you'll see Aftermath Swahili in there. I am a manufacturing manager specializing in operational leadership, process improvement, and a green belt in Lean Six Sigma. Glad to be here, man, and honored to be on the panel with these brothers and ready to get it in.
All right. Brother Hassani out the D.
Hassani Ali out the D, your men's motivational coach, blogger, and advocate. Check me out at Coach Ali's Corner. And, O'Shea, all the red pillars from your Negro Manosphere page going to be on this one, right?
Yeah. All right. And Brother Gabe.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Gabe Bay here on YouTube. Just happy to be here. Again, O'Shea's Negro Manosphere page on Facebook has been going crazy. I mean, it has been an experience that I've never had on Facebook. All the years I've been on Facebook, I've never experienced what this Negro Manosphere group has given me an experience with. So I just been having a lot of fun. But here to give out game and just really to chop it up with the brothers. I mean, I feel like we done had a whole chop up session on the back chat as O'Shea was getting ready. But yeah, man, I'm just ready to further the conversation and just have fun with everybody. So I'm down.
All right. So again, yeah, that Negro Manosphere Facebook group, it's only 2,000 people, but it's like the Sunday Rumble 24 hours a day.
Absolutely.
That's to say the least. You got people in there twerking, you got people in there getting roasted on the same post. It's crazy. But this is a really good topic, right? And this is something because we talk about so much. Well, all the brothers have brought some level of information to African American men with regards to what friends to get around. I know that Gabe has talked about professional networking, events, LinkedIn. We've talked about career changing strategies. All of these things we've talked about on this particular podcast. And we've talked about how, for example, like Brother Wrench, how he worked, a job, went to school that night and elevated. Okay, so after all of those things have happened, now you're in a different scenario, right? You've gotten to where you wanted to be. you're in a new place. You're Dr. D, right? Or you're Gabe A, you're Rich, you're Hassani. You ain't broke as me, so I ain't gonna even use myself, right? But you've gotten to where you want to be, or you're very close there, and now you're dealing with meeting women, and now you do have a nice car, right? You do have nice clothes, and when you want to open up a conversation starter, you kind of want to go ahead and talk about what you do, who you are, and leading with your occupation and things like that. I know plenty of guys who do that. I have a best friend that's a dentist. He doesn't do that, but I do know guys who do that. Tell people like what they do and all of this. Shout out to Brother Frederick and Brother Tony D. Thank you for the super chats. But I want to know, man, once you get to where you're at and going and trying to establish professional circles, do you then use that success? Because that success is pretty much it could be who you are, right? Do you lead with that to get into new environments, and do you lead with that to get women as a professional black man? Go ahead, Brother Rich.
I'll start off. So I don't lead off with it, but what I'll do is kind of feel them out, right? Because I ask certain questions to try and see where they are, because if they're on the same plane, right? I'll give you an example. So I met a sister who's and Brother Gabe always talk about it. She's a Linux system administrator. So I know that she's not making $25,000 a year, right? So our conversations are a little different versus you meet a sister, she bad, and she like, well, I go to the barber college, and then I do hair on the side. You kind of like, oh man, I'm not gonna let her know shit about what I do. You know what I mean? She's not even coming to the house. So I don't lead with it just because you really lightweight setting yourself up. You almost you simping out just by leading with it. You know what I mean? But it's normally a card that I keep kind of tucked. And in the event I get shit tested or something like that, then I can easily kind of beat that back by saying, well, I understand that you've been successful and you've accomplished some stuff, but you're not dealing with a regular 9-to-5 guy either. So that's my position on it. I never lead with it, but I always keep it as a card just in case. To try to come at, try to get a little sideways, and sometimes you have to let them know, like, bitch, I'm not just the average. I'm not just the average. I'm not the average motherfucker you run into at Walmart. You know what I mean?
Right. Let me do this real quick. Shout out to again all the super chat. I appreciate you. C Avery, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Robert C. Well, good to see my brother. I think he just graduated engineering school. So shout out to Robert C. Well, man. And again, we got a lot of brothers that's just finishing up. Dr. D just finished up. Let me kind of go back to that real quick, because I like how you said this. You gauge to see who you are dealing with before you start revealing information. A lot of niggas don't do that. So kind of tell me, like, let's see if you were to meet a woman, like, not on Tinder, but like, because we the last generation that actually hollered at females, our age.
Yeah.
You meet somebody or whatever. When do you? So do you ask her, like, how do you go into the occupation part as to what she does or what you do? How do you go into that part?
Oh yeah, I ask them straight up, the same way they do us, right? But the same way they do us. So
I know that's right.
And then especially if a sister's not making a lot, that's normally what they try to stay away from. You know what I mean? They'll talk about, I can cook, and I just really enjoy, cuddling on the couch. And then back in my mind, I'll be like, bitch, what do you do? But so what I'll do is, I'll normally try and lead off with something like a compliment. I'll be like, oh, okay, well, you seem like you're pretty sharp, pretty intuitive. What is it that you do? I strip. I'll be like, oh, okay, right on. But I normally, lead off with something like that. I give them a compliment. Oh, okay. Well, you seem like you handle a lot of different stuff. You multitask real good. What do you do? And a lot of times they'll tell you.
Wait. Drop that knowledge on them, because you just dropped some game. Them niggas didn't hear that. Say it again.
Yeah. So I'll lead off with a compliment, right? So just say if you're having a conversation back and forth with a sister, and especially if it's if it's a subject that she's interested in, and she's kind of rattling on and on about it, and you can ask, you can tell them, hey, you seem real knowledgeable about that, or you articulate really well. What do you do? Like, what do you do as a career? And then that's when you can, they'll let you know.
Okay. That was some knowledge right there. I don't know if you brothers really peeped what the brother was saying, but again, leading into that, with a compliment, you probably don't give a damn, but just leading into that, right?
I don't.
Right. To open it up to see where she's at. Okay, that was smart, brother Gabe. It seemed like you want to get involved in that, brother.
Oh, sure, yeah. I think I want to talk more from experience because I think my experience with it has been a little bit different from Brother Wrench. I think Brother Wrench actually a lot of times has that. He has a particular demeanor, it seems like, where he approaches and he gets a lot of, feedback. I mean, as I was coming up, I really didn't have that approach. I wouldn't say that I was shy with women or anything, but I would say that I wasn't a big, cold approacher. They had like cold calling for people who do sales. I didn't do a lot of that. A lot of times I operated from social circles, social circles, or people that know each other, right? Or that, friend groups in general. So I would say that I wouldn't lead with my occupation, but once my friends knew what I did, they would lead for me, if that makes sense. Okay. So a lot of times they would know somebody who knows somebody, or know somebody else who's single, know another young lady who they would think that I would be interested in, and they would lead with my occupation for me. They would say, "Hey, have you met this dude, Gabe? He do this and that and this and that. I think y'all would be good to talk." So a lot of times, a lot of those conversations started like that. So even though I didn't lead with that myself, because I ain't had a game like Wrench, but I think that other individuals would lead with my occupation for me when they would introduce me to potential young ladies. So,
okay, but what would you do though? Like, I mean, outside of that, looking back at it, when you hooked up with somebody, or when you was talking to somebody that you didn't do that, you had to do it for yourself. How would you go about it? Like, on hindsight, because hindsight is 2020, right? What looking back on it now,
I think that what I would do typically is that, because I think that y'all know ladies love talking. They love talking about themselves, love talking about what's going on with them. So I would just ask a lot of penetrating questions initially, right? And I just let her talk. And just like Ren said, I would gauge it based upon what her responses were. So if she's doing something just like Wrench was mentioning, like a Linux administrator or like a nurse or a teacher, I get a better understanding. And then I'll initially, especially with early conversations, I'm very general. I say, because I was working as a nuclear engineer, right, for some time, I would tell her I'm an engineer for a utility company, right? Not getting really in depth because, there's ranges there. But hey, he's an engineer, for whatever utility company he is, right? So she would have some idea. But once we got deeper in our relationship, I would be more descriptive of what I do, right? Because I've been talking about what I've been doing that day and everything. So she would get a better idea as I got more comfortable with her. So I would share more as I saw that it could be more of a potential, if that makes sense.
What about her would make it more of a potential?
Man, if she has something going on for herself, or if I got along with her, if I liked her character, because really, when I used to meet, well, like I'm married now, but when I used to meet young ladies, I mean, everything she did, I put under a microscope. I'm watching her. Yep. I'm watching it. I'm watching everything that she do, because I'm like, okay, am I gonna take my time to invest in this person, or invest in a relationship with this person, or am I gonna not waste my time? Right. So as she's talking more and more, as I'm seeing, okay, you can move to the next level here. We can get a little bit more deeper in our relationship. I'm watching her. So that is, I would share more as I felt more comfortable and confident that this was somebody I wanted to move forward with.
Okay.
Hey, can I touch on that real quick too?
Yeah.
Really quick.
On them, brother.
Sometimes no matter how hard you try and hide it, you almost, your cover almost get blown. Gabe, working in manufacturing, especially being in a leadership position, you tell me if this sounds accurate. So if just say we're out hanging out, right? My work phone go off and it's something that you know, it's a problem that really need my attention. Or just say if we're here at the house, right? She's gonna see me go to my work bag. If normally I'm gonna put my laptop and stuff up, put it off to the side, but I'm asking my work phone. Of course, my vernacular probably is gonna change. It's gonna sound a little, you know, you know what I mean. So
a little different.
right. The vernacular is gonna change up, and then I'm gonna open the laptop, and I'm gonna probably have 3 or 4 screens open, looking at the conditions of the machines and looking at and kind of working through that, right? So sometimes your cover get blown like that too. So once that happens, then you really got to put them under a microscope, especially if they start trying to probe. Like I open up my laptop and all of a sudden she kind of needs something from the bar, you know what I mean? And she's kind of looking over my shoulder. What I see a reflection in my laptop screen, you know what I mean? Kind of looking over my shoulder. So,
right.
So that's another part of it too. Your cover can get blown also.
I agree.
Okay, no,
absolutely.
Go ahead, Dr. D. You want to drop some knowledge on that, brother?
Oh yeah, I was listening to Wrench and Gabe, and I'll feed off of that. And one of the things you have to remember is, somebody said it in the comments. I was going to say, women could smell if you're successful or not. The way you walk, the way you talk. And that's gonna give you away. If you pronounce all your words, they're gonna say this nigga ain't dumb, because
yeah, that's true.
Straight up.
But he ain't lying though.
That'll give you away. Say this nigga don't talk slang. His pants above his waist. Oh, he has a good job. You like, hold up. I got on khakis and I got on a collared shirt, like a polo shirt with some New Balances. You don't dress like the typical black man. In their head, they're like, this nigga do something around other folks. Because the way you carry yourself, it already dictate. If your haircut is sharp, they're like, nah, this ain't a regular nigga right here. I'm gonna get on to this nigga right here. I'm gonna try to get some of that money, like them city girls say. He gonna spend some money on me today. And excuse me, I was eating something, and you could drive a raggedy car and a woman will know this dude has something going on. He's driving a little raggedy car. I bet that's his work car. And it's hard now to hide your success, because if you're a confident person, that just comes out of you. They're gonna know, say, this is a different dude. When you looking, when you pull a card out your wallet, a woman is looking. If they see something shiny, they're like, hold up, this nigga got an Amex card, he got a regular card. You're not thinking about it. You trying to hide it. But women see all of that stuff.
Yep.
You try to downplay everything so much. And like Brother Wrench was saying, a laptop. If you pull out one of these high price Dell laptops or a MacBook, they're gonna be like, this dude got a $2,500 laptop. It's stuff like that. And to you, it's part of your job, but to them, it's like, I got a guy that's got something going on for himself.
Yep.
To me, I've always heard your voice gives it away. You don't talk slang or whatnot, and you got all your teeth. So
all your teeth.
A lot of young dudes, man, that don't have good dental plans, man, their teeth rotting out and stuff. And it's simple stuff like that. The way you carry yourself, you don't have to lead with success. And as Gabe and Brother Wrench was saying, somebody that knows somebody gonna look you up and say, hey, that's this dude right here.
Yep.
Yeah, it always happens. And they gonna be like, hey, here's Gabe, the VP right here. You like, why did you tell them I was a VP? This Brother Wrench right here, the director. You don't want people to know that, and you don't lead with that because you know the stigma that comes with it. You try to downplay it, but the more I've learned, the more you try not to lead with success, the more it comes out. So that's just my observation. The more you try to hide it, the more it comes out, and people find it. So you don't have to drive a car now or drive a fancy house. They'll find you. With the age of technology, they can look you up on LinkedIn or Facebook. Oh, another thing. If they take pictures and you the only black dude in the picture with a bunch of white folks, it's a dead giveaway.
Yep.
No, that's real. Hassani, you wanna
Hope I didn't take.
Oh,
I hope
you still building on that, brother?
I'm done. I hope I ain't took none of Hassani's point. You know, I was gonna let her go. He said I'm always taking the steam. Hopefully the watermelon helped me.
No, I finished my watermelon. I'm okay. But
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, how a woman enters your life is the same way she's going to leave. So if a chick came into your life as the side piece, then she's going to leave as the side piece to somebody else. And the reason why I say that is because how you lead is how she's going to find her opportunity in you. So if you start the conversation with, I'm an electrical engineer, her mind goes straight to, this guy is successful. This guy makes, some good money. So let me see how I can elevate my life based on what he's offering. Because that's literally what you're offering her. I'm an engineer. And so, when she goes back to her friends, I'm not dating Wrench Turner. I'm dating the engineer. And like, oh, you dating the engineer? So what you present to her is what she's taking from you. And you should never have to lead with your success or your profession, because typically in the places where you frequent and women are in those fields, they should know what you do. So if you're at a speakers convention, if you're, at some kind of conference, those type of women have your interest, a common interest. So when you guys get to talking, it's not really about what you do. It's kind of what stage you are in life. And so, like I told y'all, I think 2 games ago, y'all know I have no game whatsoever, but the winning point was always when I was at a conference or when I was always doing something, I was always dropping information, and it turned into, well, how did you get this done, or how did you profit off of this? And then that's when it turned into a conversation of, by the way, what's your name, where you from, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. I guess you know what, man. Y'all don't really leave too much for me to say something.
Hey, talk about them titties and the
right.
What?
Right. But let me say this, because I think that my experience is, since I've been living in Poland and in Africa, Poland not really so much, because I'm one of the only blacks in my city. It's about 1,000 of us, maybe if that. But I probably am the people know me from YouTube or something like that, right? And people know kind of like where I live, and it's a decent area. But let me kind of shift to where I'm at now on the continent. And every time I go out, because here in America, let's say if you're an engineer, if you're a doctor, it means something. But let's just be honest, there's people in America that have a lot, especially city like Chicago, where you have like over 200,000 millionaires in just that one city. So people are not as pressed, right?
Yep.
But in Africa, you have 25, in Uganda, you have 2,500 millionaires in the whole country, right? So it means something when you have even $2,000 a month here. So for me, I never try to, because in my circumstance, my accent gives it away. And I think that you brothers were talking about the diction and the way your vernacular is. Obviously, that's going to let people know this guy is educated, especially in any black woman that went to college and comes across a man that, no matter what you're dressed, your conversation, somebody's going to be able to tell that you're relatively intelligent, especially depending on where you meet him at. If you meet him at some place like Whole Foods, you meet him at some place where their guard is a little bit let down. So obviously, certain things about you is going to give certain things away, and you can't hide that. But the thing that is, I never try to tell somebody I'm at medical school. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be because the reason why is like, No matter if I was a motherfucker at McDonald's or Burger King, or the thing is, do you like me? And shout out to Simple to P and Freeze always talk about that. Does she like you? And a lot of guys got it messed up. I know a whole lot of brothers that are doctors, that are engineers, and they making. I have some friends that make some ridiculous money just doing certain shit, like just merchants. I'm talking about $50,000 in a month, cash business, stuff like that. And when you see them niggas, they on the Instagram with things they do, right? And the thing about it is, a lot of guys have not gotten over the fact, and listen to what I say, is that they got rejected a lot when they didn't have shit. And now it's payback time. And it's hard not to do that, especially if you kind of felt like you've been fucked over by women when you didn't have anything. And now you arrived and a lot of the hoes hit the wall now. And now you're on the come up, and all the bitches that you couldn't get, they ain't shit. It's a chip on your shoulder for a lot of black men, right? And so for a lot of black men, it's like, nah, bitch, I'm a doctor now. Yeah, my name is Dr. So-and-so. I got the beans, I got all of this. Let me tell you guys this, right? And this is important. This is not a time for payback and hoes, okay? Like, a lot of brothers got to understand this. You got money, you got houses and shit, and that's great. This is not a time to get revenge. And a lot of guys use their money and success not necessarily to get women, but for revenge also. Like, especially with black chicks. You black bitches, you know how niggas get in this sector, right?
Right.
And I want to talk about that because at the end of the day, no matter how much money you have, if you are not okay with yourself, she's still going to leave you, right? I mean, you might get in, but you're still going to be insecure. You're not a secure man. And the thing about it is, money don't make the man. The things that helped you get to where you are, the consistency, those attributes and traits, that's who you are, right? You're the guy that at 6 o'clock in the morning, your last semester of college, and you needed to finish that class to graduate, or you needed to go to that technical school, and you need to do that. You work 2 jobs. That's who you are. The money is not who you are, okay? Once the money becomes who you are, then it's all for fail, right? If you had a good personality before the money, you don't change. And a lot of guys, the money will enhance things about you. Don't get me wrong, but you still got to talk for yourself. You still got to, be a nice person. A lot of women, when they get a little success or whatever, they become assholes. Black men don't have to do that. You already a man. So you already a successful black man. People know that. Trust me, they know that before you get there. Like the brother was saying, when you come to any place, Uganda, Brazil, Kenya, South, when you show up, people know who you are. Like, they don't know who your name, but they know you. They hear you talk, they know you, right? They see how you dress, they know you. They see where you staying at. Like, if you go somewhere and where you staying, I'm staying in Santon, they know you. They look at the restaurants you go, like literally, you have in Africa, if you go to certain restaurants and you by yourself and you got a different accent, you ain't got to tell them nothing else. They know you got money. You ain't got to, so, and also, let me say this, right? It also, a bit of mystery is sexy, right? If you are a man and you're mysterious about what you do, that's a turn on. It's like, well, damn, if she finds out, like, let's say, for example, right? I'm a medical doctor. I'm a family doctor. I don't tell her, but she finds out. She'll be like, damn, why you didn't tell me that? Like, you a doctor? Like, you know what I mean? That's gonna even make her want you even more. Like, let the motherfuckers go search for the shit. I ain't gotta tell you that I'm this, whatever. You go search for it. And it's gonna be like, what else is she's, does he have that I don't know about or whatever? Let that motherfucker go on LinkedIn and get turned on all the goddamn way. If she come home and all that. But see, you brothers gotta stop leading with this thing because, number one, you mad or you upset or you trying to get revenge on these hoes or whatever. Listen, man, it's not about revenge. It's about you getting with a person that's with your same integrity, your same values, regardless of money. It's all of those things are important. Usually it does, correlate to the same amount of money. But I will tell you, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, the people going to be around you that you need to be around, right? So thank you, brother Surf and Tangeray. Anybody want to relate on that?
You mind if I jump in on that, O'Shea?
Yes, sir.
Really, really quick, because and we talked about this before. A lot of brothers spend a lot of time on that revenge piece is because that's their first time getting access to an abundance of women.
Yes.
You know, when you get to college and you finally get that first taste of, you know, the different, you know, the diverse, you know, types of women that you come across, whether it was the first time, you know, getting a white chick, or maybe it's the first time you even got a bohemian black chick, or, you know, the country club type black chicks. So once you finally get a taste of the access, and once you graduate and get out in the real world, and ladies are not as superficial as it were in high school and in college, you know, your options open up. You don't know how to handle it. You've gone from, you know, nothing to everything, kind of like, you know, professional athletes growing up poor, and then, you know, you get a $5 million check in your hand. Not that it works like that, but going from nothing to an abundance, you may not know how to handle it. So a lot of brothers spend that time, you know, playing that field because they know women are after them because they're successful, they're well-to-do, you know, and everyone's trying to get, you know, find that marriage material. So they spend the time like, well, I have the abundance, so why rush to get into something serious when I can play the field for as long as I can? And that's, you know, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but that's why they do it.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Wrench.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I kind of feel like it's like, why it's so much energy that you get, right? Why focus all that energy on trying to get back at somebody who rejected you before, when you could spend that energy looking for, investing in somebody who you can have a future with? I mean, I just think that it's I don't know. Dudes got so much smoke for these ladies, when if I don't want her, I mean, it don't matter what she think about me. Why does it matter what she thinks about me and whether she rejected me in the past? It doesn't, because I don't want her. I don't know. She won't. If she want me, it don't matter, because I don't want her. I'm going to invest my time in somebody that I can provide a future for, somebody who can be like the catalyst to bring my children into the world, a positive figure, right, for women and for our children. I think that's a better way to invest your time and your energy, rather than trying to get back at somebody for not seeing your potential. It don't matter if she ain't see my potential. She missed out. Keep it pushing. Life goes on, type of thing. So I don't know. That's just my perspective on it.
You know, to add on to that, another part of it is, and I can tell you from experience, man, and it didn't just happen once, it happened a couple times. A lot of times, a lot of these sisters, shit, they got, you know, they have some pretty good salaries too, right? They I can say 3 different occasions where these sisters were over 6 figures. I never knew until a little bit later on. But what they saw in me was the grind, and they saw, you know, the hours that I worked and stuff like that, and they just kind of sat back and watched. And as I grew in the business, and as we would have conversations, lo and behold, you know, shit, they've been over 6 figures for the last, you know, 5 or 6 years. You know what I mean? They were just kind of sitting back watching. So brothers also got to be mindful. You know, you can't have smoke. You know, you can't have smoke for these sisters, because a lot of them, they are pretty, you know, unless you just, you know, kind of fishing in, you know, in a thought nest or something like that. But a lot of them have their own money too, and they are really just looking for somebody to kind of mesh together with, who can hold their own, and then kind of build from there. So that's another piece. They got, you know, you got to be careful about, you know, projecting, hey, I got money, and you know, and then, because that's easy to tell too. You know what I mean? That's easy to tell too. If you know you got a $65,000, you know, truck in the driveway, and then you got a, you know, $70,000 Benz, and then you know she come in the house and everything is IKEA. She kind of like, no, it's, you know, something ain't really adding up, because they pay attention to that kind of shit. You know, so if you're an IKEA dude, be IKEA all the way. You know, go get your little, you know, a little Impala, a little 2016 Impala, man, and just be who you are, because they can tell, they can really tell who you are based on their nature. You know, they reading us all the time. You know what I mean? And another quick example, one of those sisters that makes over 6 figures, I was talking about a Mercedes that I had saw, and I said, man, you know what? For my 40th birthday in a couple of years, I may do something like that. And she told me, and this when it really clicked. She told me, she said, well, I always picture you as a lifted truck kind of dude, which I am. And I was just, talking about this Mercedes. I'm talking about, later on down the line. And she was like, I always pictured you as a lifted truck kind of dude. And I was like, oh yeah, they pay attention. They pay close attention to what we think.
Let me just shout out to Brother Sarek. Hard to seek revenge when you've been hurt. Bro, listen.
You got to get over that shit.
I'm not trying to like be mean or nothing to you, bro, or because I am an African American man. I've been called everything under the bug. I done been shot down and hung up on or whatever. Right? This is just the track, the facts. And I'm not gonna tell you like, I don't have empathy for what you brothers have been through, that maybe you have liked black women or whoever kind of women it is. Because I understand when you don't have shit, a lot of motherfuckers don't want to fuck with you. That's just what it is, especially when it comes from men. For men, like we can't go to OnlyFans and do shit. Like we have to work for everything that we get, right? So I'm empathetic and sympathetic to you as black men. Like I understand exactly where you're coming from. But here's the situation. You ain't the only motherfucker that's going through that, right? And I'm going to tell you like this. You start off slow, but your reign as a man is much longer than theirs. And once you know that and understand that, then you'll understand why God made you a man, okay? So you don't, there's no reason for you to, it's like an ant crawling or something. You don't have to step on it. Like it's not necessary, Once you've gotten to where you're going and you know how to move around and maneuver as a man and you get a little older, a little wiser, people are going to come to you. And let me tell you this, the women that you're going to meet, they don't know you. So let's talk about that, right? This is important for me to say. For you niggas to have attitudes with women that don't know you, number one, it's fucked up. I'm just going to be real. You to take out your anger on broads that you don't know is equivalent to them blaming you for their problems with Pookie and Ray Ray. Do not do shit like that. That's what hoes do. Okay? This sister that you want to talk to, and I understand like a lot of y'all niggas want to talk to them, but you want to diss them. Like why? Like she don't know you. She didn't know you when you was 20. She didn't know you when you was 30. I mean, she didn't know you when you was had the booger in your nose. She just know you now. What she see now is what you are now. Like that's not her fault that she didn't meet you 20 years ago. Like, she see you now. You're trying to talk to her right now. You talking to her right now. You done worked out. You got a mustache. You got the Cadillac or whatever you got. So that's what she see right now. She didn't know you back then. So you taking your animosity from when a motherfucker didn't want you when you was 17 to a chick that met you when you was 28 or met you when you was 35. They didn't know you back then, nigga. And realistically, for some of you niggas, it's like, 35, 40. If she 25, if she would have knew you back then, she would have been 8 or 9. You know what I'm saying? So to be honest, she didn't know you. She didn't know you. So, bro, like, why you mad at her? This motherfucker don't know you from Steve. Like, it's just like me. When I call a customer service and I get a stupid bitch on the line, mad at, I'm like, hold on, bitch. Wait a minute. Are you mad at, and every brother's been through there. You go through one of these motherfucking restaurants, something like that. Come on, man. Like, hey, I don't know you, man. Like, stop tripping off of me. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with you brothers. Y'all trying to make motherfuckers pay for some shit that happened to you from another funky ass motherfucker. And you want to make this sister pay for it. She like you. She trying to holler at you. So why you gonna be mean to her? She trying to give you the pussy. Or, trying to go somewhere with you, trying to go on a date, that ain't the motherfucker to be mad at. If you want to be mad at somebody, have an attitude problem with the motherfucker that was mean to you. Don't have an attitude with her. Go ahead, Gabe.
No, I was gonna say that doesn't make any sense, because one thing that
don't make no sense.
One thing that a lot of women are attracted to about men is their ability to produce. A lot of times when we are younger dudes, we're not producing nothing. Like we don't provide, or when we're very young, we don't have the capability to show stability, to show, Potential, absolutely. But I'm just thinking about if I have a daughter, I would want my daughter to be with somebody who is a producer, somebody who is established, somebody, and you don't want to be in a relationship, a long-term relationship with somebody if you're not established, because that just brings all types of other issues. So it makes sense. I mean, just be happy. Just move forward with your life and be happy and go after who you want to go after rather than trying to hurt and damage and get back at somebody who didn't choose you when you was 15. Like that's just not productive, because your energies can go towards better places.
Yeah, I agree. That's why the rearview mirror on a car is small, so you can't look back, keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be worrying about, I agree with what y'all saying. You don't need to be worrying about the women in the past trying to take stuff out on them. Move forward.
Right.
The woman that you doing bad against could be your wife, and you out here trying to treat her like shit because all the other thoughts treated you like shit. And a lot of guys do that, and they say, "Well, I'm gonna be a hoe and get bitches because when I was in college, I'm gonna spend the next 10 years fucking bitches because I couldn't get none when I was younger." I'm like, what purpose is that fucking serving? You just going around fucking bitches, making kids and shit. And
right. And let me just do it real quick, man. I had that mentality like when I graduated. That's what I wanted to do. And let me just say this, man. Like, number one, I can look back at it now. It's immature, stupid. It just is, because success as a man, pussy typically comes with the territory. It's a given, almost. I mean, that's just what it is. Like, when you get confidence and you get success, I mean, it's there. So there's no reason for, all of the other shit that you niggas is talking about, like being mad at other chicks, being mad or whatever. I mean, that's dumb. So, and you don't have to throw it in nobody. And one of the things I like a lot of niggas want to do is throw it in people's faces of what they do. Why? Like, I mean, number one,
no.
It's not, number one, like, how much money you have, what you got. Throw it in a woman's face, like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Number one, if she look good, bro, there's niggas that got more money than you. Like, I'm gonna just be honest. Like, as great as you think you are, and a lot of niggas are overachieving on this panel and overachieving that send me emails. One nigga joined my group today as a radiologist. As badass as he might think he is, I'm not saying that he said that, right? But women have dated guys who have $1 million businesses, guys who can do anything for them. If she looks good, you ain't the first nigga that ain't trying to holler that I got money. Even in Africa, in Uganda, you only got 2,500 millionaires. The bad chicks in Uganda got options. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, anywhere you go, there's somebody that got more money than you and doing better than you. You ain't that nigga like you think you are. Straight up. Go ahead, everybody.
Another thing too is before you even get to the point to where you have to spend time even playing this little sick game, right? That's a telltale sign that you should be working on yourself, brother. Like, nobody knows but you and the therapist or whoever you go talk to. So if that's something that you're struggling with, in order to really get out here and play the field without all this baggage, start working on yourself. You know what I mean? You have to be completely 100 with yourself and be like, hey man, I know I have certain kind of feeling towards women or whatever. Then go seek that help, man. Go and get that gym membership. Spend some time by yourself. Really trying to figure yourself out, because when you start making a certain amount of money, number one, it takes a shit ton of your time. It takes a lot of your time. You know what I mean? So the time that you have to yourself, spend it working on yourself, so that
right.
A little bit later on, you can contribute, or how to handle certain situations, or when you get into where your stopping point is, or you get into your limit, you can go ahead and be like, you know what, I need to take myself out of this situation because this is something that I'm working on right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and break off. You know what I mean? And that's even respectable from sisters. You know what I mean? That just say if you cut her off all of a sudden, she may come back like, hey, hey stranger, right? What happened? What happened? You stopped talking to me or whatever. and and you're able to, in a mature, grown ass man way, you're able to lay it out. Like, oh yeah, I had a problem with such, but I'm over it now, what you doing this weekend, right? And then before you know it, you're in the draws, right? So the whole point, the whole point of everything that I just said is, spend that time. If you hurt like that, spend that time to work on yourself, because you mess around and really run across a sister who may not be perfect, but she may actually be down for you 100%, and she's not gonna take you kicking the shit out of her for too much longer, because she may have her own bag too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And real quick, so I know brother D Darrell just jumped on, and when the brother was saying about what goes on between you and the therapist, that's not a shaming thing. Like, if you really have something deep against women, definitely go speak to someone. Even as a marriage coach, I go see a therapist myself. So we do have to, if you have any issues, you make sure you get that stuff unraveled so you can go out here with a clear mind. And there's a difference between men and women when it comes to dating. And when a man gets burned, it's typically a lesson. Mm-hmm. And so when a man goes through something, it's like, okay, I got burned by this chick, so these aren't the type of chicks that I would date anymore. Or I led with my wallet and she ended up, not calling me back after the date, so she got a free meal. Okay, that's a lesson. The difference between men and women is that men take these lessons and move forward with their dating life. They still get back into the game, where ladies will make the same mistakes multiple times and then pout from the sidelines that they had a poor experience, but they don't want to get back into the game, with the fear of being hurt. But even though, you have to get back out there, and take your lessons and take your losses in order to know the next time a good person comes along, or even a bad person that comes along, you know how to detect it, and you know how to navigate from there. So everything that goes on with you is just a lesson. And the difference is you just got to take those lessons and apply them to the dating market.
Speaking of therapy, good point. Speaking of therapy, let's go ahead to brother Dr. D Darrell. You want to jump in on this? Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, just before D Darrell, I actually got to hop down. Thanks for having me, O'Shea. Thanks for
tomorrow, brother. Tomorrow, brother. I got a good topic. If the internet is same, so I'll be back tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you brothers later. All right.
All right.
All right, brother.
What's going on, Nelson? How you doing?
Man, white man hold me back, man. But I'm trying to, trying to do what I can, brother.
All right, I hear you. Well, appreciate for coming in. Appreciate everybody that's on the panel. In regards to this particular issue, in regards to should you use your money and success to get women, I think for men, for the most part, it's somewhat it all depends on you as an individual. Particularly for black men, we are a little showy by nature. So in regards to women, we do tend to want to flex a little bit. Even the most conservative black male is going to want to flex a little something if he earned it. And I feel that as a black man, you have a right to show your success. You worked hard for it. You put in the work for it. And there's nothing wrong with showing your success or showing, as far as what you have to a certain extent. I think that it's a slippery, it's kind of slippery with doing that, in a sense, in regards to you don't want it to be a situation in which you make that the foundation of who you are, as far as allowing the money to make and make you as a person. And that's all this particular female that you're looking for is looking at. The fact that you're leading with your money, you're constantly bringing up, hey, I got this, I can do this, the things that separate me. This is the greatest characteristic in regards to myself, is the fact that I have money and I can provide certain things that maybe the average man couldn't, or so forth, or I can allow you to live a certain standard. I do think that in that process, you do want to and somewhat express the fact that you can provide some level of security, that you have a consistent job, that you are a professional, and that you are doing something positive and you are successful. I don't think there's anything wrong with expressing that to someone, depending on what are your long-term goals for that particular person you're trying to date. I've heard some of y'all talking in regards to as far as therapy and so forth, and talking to a therapist in regards to issues like this, particularly for Black men. My experience as a therapist is that, particularly with most Black men who typically lead with their money, they usually get burned by it, and in many cases it can have very negative effects, because the fact of a lot of Black men that I've seen that lead with their money, they pretty much get stuck in that because they create a environment in the relationship that everything's about money. It's about paying for this trip, buying this Louis bag. If we're gonna, buy this expensive dress, these pumps that I want, you start getting into this situation where you're buying a woman and you're trying to express your love or your admiration for her through the things that you can do for her, buy for her, and take her and things like that. 5-star restaurants, vacations, hotels. Once for many women, once you produce that particular standard, they're going to look at that as this is going to be the consistent thing that's going to be throughout the relationship. And so, from a female perspective, if you lead with that, they're going to look at that as being the standard for the relationship. So I say to men that are successful, that are dating, you have to be somewhat, you have to use your discretion in regards to how much you want that particular person to know about you, and it's because I wouldn't say divulge all of your financial information and so on, such as if you have a house, if you place, depending on the type of spot that you have, and so on. I mean, you have to be somewhat careful. It depends on your goals in that particular woman that you're dating. But going back to the men that make a mistake to leading, in many situations, men like this get burned financially, in which they go over and above and beyond to do things for female, even to a point of things that a female didn't even ask for. They're just doing these things to try to basically, I guess, convince this female that this is what I can do for you, and trying to convince this female that this is the reasons why you should stay. And so what usually ends up happening from a financial standpoint, it doesn't matter if you're married. I've seen this happen in marriages that I did marital therapy with. I've seen this with couples that were long term, and I've seen it in dating situations in which guys went above and above to do things such as paying for college education, buying cars. I've seen guys put down payments on houses, long-term things that you shouldn't do unless you're marrying somebody or you're in a long-term relationship where you're living together. So I feel that, in my perspective, looking at it and from a therapeutic standpoint, I would express to all men, it depends on your end game for that particular female.
I would agree, if I can add on to what Doc just said. Even another thing too, that I think is important for brothers to understand. I'll use myself as an example. Excuse me, I use myself as an example. Hell, shit, I'm about to sign up to go and talk to a therapist, right? So, granted, I've done quite a bit of work and have met some of my goals that I set out for myself, but that it's always you're always a work in progress, right? It may not be to the point where you need to talk to a therapist or something. It may be you like flossing and you bad with money, so you need to get with a financial advisor and get disciplined. It may be you have something that happened to you in your childhood and you need to work through that, right? So just because you hear us brothers talking and being brothers who have met our goals, that doesn't necessarily mean that we've reached the pinnacle and that's it. It's still a work in progress. I can confidently say that all of us here on the panel, in some form or fashion, we're still working on ourselves, right? Still learning, still growing. And specifically for me, That's always going to be the case, you know.
I started going to therapy a couple of months ago because I'm getting married next June, and we've already started doing it. And I think the first time I went to therapy, we went separately. We're continuing to go. It's like one of the best things I did because I got to actually talk and let them know how I felt about things. And my fiance and I, we already starting to plan. Marriage is a business. We're already writing out stuff like what we got to have for the house and everything. And therapy gives you, it puts a lot of stuff in perspective, and it lets you get a lot of stuff off your chest. Because everybody else, if you have family members, they might be biased, but I know a lot of people say, well, you just paying somebody to just tell you what's wrong or whatnot. But when I talked to the therapist, I felt way better. I got a lot of deep stuff off of my chest because, working hard, you tend to be focused and neglect a lot of things. But the therapist, they'll ask you about childhood, how were you brought up? They dig deep and find a lot of things, and it'll make your relationship with yourself better to where once the relationship with yourself is better, you can make it better with your significant other. And I recommend, a lot of people do it. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of until you go to therapy. And I'm going to continue to go to it, even though once it's over. We even talked about, you go to it every 3 to 4 months once we get married to keep staying ahead, because a lot of Black people are embarrassed to say, I'm going to therapy or whatnot. For instance, when Black people, when people die, they don't seek therapy. When somebody dies, it's death. Different people handle it differently. And I tell anybody, you should go to therapy or anything. If you haven't accepted somebody dying, I mean, I've dealt with it personally from my parents passing. You have to accept that they're dead. They're going to die. Not they're going to die, they are dead. You have to accept death. And in the Black community, we shun people to say, well, I had to go to therapy to talk about death. No, you need to go talk to somebody, because over the years, that stuff builds up and it makes things worse, and you take it out on people. So never be ashamed to go seek outside help.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with that. I like to say, particularly for Black men, that regards to therapy, for the most part, we're probably one of the least likely demographics of men, or just overall, whether it's men or women, to want to seek therapy. So it is positive to hear the fact that we do have brothers, particularly on this panel, and probably also within this particular sect, that are able to identify therapy as being a valuable option for self-care. And so for any demographic that I've dealt with, black men, and as a Black man, one of the reasons why Black men don't seek a lot of therapy is because they want to be counseled or have therapy. For the most part, most Black men that I've encountered would like to be seen by a Black man. And unfortunately, in this particular, in mental health, we're kind of far and few between. Although there are some, but we are far and few between. But it is positive to hear that, to hear brothers talking about the fact that they are using therapy as a way of self-care and self-improvement. That's a positive thing.
Yeah, it's very helpful. And not only go to therapy, Black men, go to the damn doctor. I go to the doctor once a year, and I rarely see us in there. So that's another point. You're going to remember, you're going to work that hard to be successful. You don't want to walk around with a bag of medicine when you're 50 years old because your ass ignored your health. As becoming successful is very mentally stressing and physically stressing. Make sure you go to the doctor. Take care of yourself, because your health is everything. Without good health, you can't do anything. Steve Jobs said when he died back in 2011, what's the most expensive bed? I think he said it's a hospital bed, because no matter how much money Steve Jobs had, it could not help get rid of that pancreatic cancer he had. So please take care of your health.
True.
Oh, anybody else? O'Shea, you there?
Yeah. Well,
O'Shea might be asleep.
Right.
I'm going to add that it's funny that you do in regards to mental health, and also, I think that one of the reasons, and this is something that I've attributed to in talking to older Black men that have gone to counseling, there seems to be, I don't know if it's a generational thing and so forth, but it seems to be from every generation, particularly within the last 2 generations, of Black men having this some level of distrust for seeking healthcare services, period. Just not trusting other people treating them, particularly in hospitals. I know, particularly when I've dealt with older Black men that are like 50, let's say 55, 60 and above, a lot of them express some level of anxiety and distrust for seeking healthcare services and so forth. They talk about situations, particularly in regards to like a family member, so to speak, that their parent or some other family member was fine, and then they were diagnosed with something, and then as soon as they were diagnosed with that and got on medication, they would talk about they noticed the person got worse. They felt like going to the doctor and so forth, and then the fear of being diagnosed with something, and then the fact from their experience of noticing that when that person sought those healthcare services, they felt like they got worse and eventually died in the hospital. That has been a consistent expression of anxiety and paranoia that I've noticed, particularly for older Black men that seek therapy. They talk about instances of that as regards to a family member or friend that they've experienced that type of situation with.
Yep, that's true. And a lot of Black men, one of the things a lot of Black men I've heard are afraid of, the prostate exam, the doctor has to stick a finger in your butt. If it's to help me to live, I could care less. And a lot of Black men are like, man, I ain't about to go through all that, man, to become a doctor. I'm like, what? Not become a doctor, to go to stay healthy. I'm like, you have medical insurance. It's a yearly checkup. What's the problem with having your blood drawn and seeing how you stand with your health? I don't know what the big problem is. And, the brother that was just talking about the distrust. I'm like, I don't know why. That's a good question we should ask each other and find out. What's the distrust of seeking outside help for mental and physical problems? Because we go through a lot of trauma and other groups will go get help, but we won't. And you have Black men that say, well, I had family members that died from colon cancer and it could have been pretty much cured, not cured, but pretty much, oh God, what is the word? They could have got rid of it if they had went to the doctor years ago. Playing with your health, Black men, is a serious issue. This is what I don't understand. You will do everything to get some ass, but you won't do everything to make sure your ass is staying alive. You'll go, well, if I got to do all this to get a woman, but you won't put the same amount of effort into your own life to try to make sure you're healthy mentally and physically. Anytime something happens, you should go seek help, mental, or get your body checked out. I hired a nutritionist a couple of months ago. I have a meeting with her. I wanted to tone down even more. And what this lady showed to me on the back of a bottle, she has me making my own salad dressings now. She said, you can't eat after 8 o'clock. You can only just eat this amount of sodium, working out. And that has pretty much even made me feel even better. But most people are not most Black men say, man, I'm not about to hire somebody. And if you really are serious about stuff, there's nothing wrong with seeking outside help. That's how I feel. There's nothing wrong with it. You have the money, spend it. You want to live to be 100 and spend your money. Why do you want to die early and just say, I want to live to be 60 something because I want to take care of my mental and physical health?
And it's funny we're having this conversation. I literally just did a video a couple days ago talking about our mental illness is killing us, and for a lot of us, we're spending all of this time holding in our grief, holding in our anger, and it's leading to a lot of things: depression, anxiety, eating disorders. And brothers, I'm just gonna say this on behalf of all professional brothers, even O'Shea providing this platform. That's why O'Shea harps on you providing what's given to you. A lot of reasons why you don't see brothers in the mental health profession or counseling sessions is that unfortunately the brothers don't support it. And so, you know, when you support these services, more brothers will come out and give you a listening ear. Even if you don't want to be coached, you have someone just to talk to say, hey, this is what I'm going through, and just someone to support you and say, you know, I understand what you're going through, you know, showing a little empathy, but, you know, you got to take care of your mental health. And when you don't, it's going to spill out in other areas of your life. And, you know, you literally got to put energy towards, you know, what's going to keep you going. I'll say this all the time when I'm with my clients, is that I could tell a lot about a person based on their bank statements. When I worked in the mortgage industry, and you have to look at financial statements, you could tell how a person lived based on what they spent their money on. And so we got to start changing the narrative to say, I need to basically get my mental health in order so I can become a better person. So when you do get out here on the dating, you know, on the dating field, you're not, you know, approaching it as a traumatized person and traumatizing somebody else.
Right. No, those are facts. Sorry about that. Let's take it right. O'Shea has all the famous people on the total tonight. D. Darrell like Mike Tomlin. It's like T.D. Duckett. Gabe like Luke Cage and Dr. D like French Montana. Tangeray, Dr. D. Darrell like M. Tomlin. Mike Tomlin. You do like Mike Tomlin a little bit though. He ain't lying.
I heard that before.
Want to hear O'Shea to the wall? Shout out to Alonzo. You know, go ahead. Anybody want to weigh in on everything? I'm kind of just getting back on the conversation. So, anybody else want to say something?
No, I think everybody kind of came to the same conclusion, man. That, and I'll even say this: as these brothers were talking, I was thinking about a lot of the work that we put in. You know, we put our immune systems at risk, you know, by the lack of sleep and the staying up and working the long hours, and you know,
right.
So to get to reach that goal, you know, only to be able to enjoy it for, you know, a couple of years is really a shame, right. and it almost washes away everything that you worked for. You know what I mean? I think the better alternative would be to take care of your health, both physical and mental. Live those golden years out and plan accordingly, and kind of change the trajectory right. of your last name. You understand? Because I think all of us are working for our last names. We're not working for our first name. So right. you know, right. and nobody ever said it would be easy. Nobody ever said it would be comfortable the whole time. You know, this is a part of it. You know, learning to understand that this kind of comes with it. This is the part that rarely gets talked about. All of that work, and you neglecting sleep for all of those years, man. It's only a matter of time. You don't know what damage you don't know what damage you've done to yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah. you have to go and get checked out. All of that stress and stuff. You don't know if you have an aneurysm. You don't know. You don't know what's going on. So and that's speaking from experience, man. Like, and the sad thing about it, we pay for the benefits. A lot of us have good benefits. Don't even use them. You know what I mean? This is a part of it that a lot of people really don't talk about. But it has to be talked about. You know.
Let me just say, damn, I had something at the tip of my tongue, right? But when you're talking about what the benefits or whatever.
Yes, sir.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Somebody else. I had something that was important, but fuck it.
He was saying that we don't use our benefits, you know, because
no. I had something, an icebreaker thing that I wanted to say, and then fucked it up. Damn.
You know, a lot of black men, for instance, you only get one pair of eyes. You know, a lot of black men that say, "Man, I ain't wearing no glasses. They make me look nerdy." Do you know? Putting that stress on your eyeballs builds pressure behind them, and it can cause other effects. Yep. I'm nervous to wear contact, so I have glasses. I go every year, get my eyes checked. I go to the dentist twice. I got braces 22 years ago. No, about 1999. I got them back on again. to help out with my underbite, and they pulled one of my teeth so my teeth can shift. I said, shit, man, I got this good dental insurance. Hell, if I got to pay some money, I got to look the part as much as possible. And, you know, dental health is one of the first things people notice. You know, so I use every HSA benefit, everything fucking possible. And black men got to realize the benefits are there. Go to the doctor, get your get your blood pressure checked. Stop eating all that damn salt. And for one, all that liquor is full of sugar. Your ass end up being a fucking diabetic, you know. Because liquor is nothing but fucking sugar. You know, diabetes and blood pressure is high on both sides of my family. One of the best things I ever did was take serious health of my take control of my health. Because doing this doctoral program, going to Pittsburgh, man, I think I shaved some years off my life. But man, I am telling you, because it was some nights I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck about to happen? I don't know what the fuck going on. So I'm having pains and stuff, just the pressure to get through it. So now eating different, man, my body has trimmed down. I feel more focused, man. And I'm telling man, there's nothing better than taking care of your fucking health. If you take, if people see you take good care of your body, they treat you differently. And yep. If people see like, oh man, you eat fruits and vegetables, man, that nigga, they ain't eating all that shit. I ain't gonna sit here and lie and say I don't eat spare ribs and shit and bacon. I ain't gonna never get that up. It's hard.
I know that's right.
It's hard to give
spare ribs.
It's hard to give up some spare ribs and it's hard to give up Waffle House, but in moderation. But I can't be eating Popeye's chicken and Big Mama. People don't see Big Mama that had the bad wig. That's why one of her legs had to get amputated, because she every Sunday she cooking fried chicken macaroni with that sweet tea with 3 or 4 cups of sugar in it. Your blood pressure going crazy, your sugar level going high. And see, we don't take it serious when the doctor say, hey, stop doing this. Well, they got pills that'll take care of that. And then you end up getting your leg amputated because there's no circulation to it. So we have to take things serious. I take what the doctor said. The doctor said you got to continue to trend down and lose weight. I go by every week and spend $50 extra to buy fruits and vegetables, and that's all I eat while I'm home. I said, damn it, I'm living to be 100 around this bitch, and I want to be in good fucking shape. I want to be 100 and talking shit. I don't want to be 100 and my eyes just moving. I'm like, I'm 100 and I can talk shit. You know, so you know, just take care of yourself. Like Brother Wrench was saying, you gonna work this hard and your accomplishments, you're gonna only enjoy them for 5 years. Think about that. The government is hoping your ass don't live that long, because that Social Security that they got to pay to your ass, they go back into the account. They don't want to pay your ass anyway. I want to live to enjoy my Social Security checks. I don't want to wait till I get older to live, because a lot of people don't live till they get 60 and 70. Fuck that. We're in a generation now to where we can live our lives at 30 and 40, buy houses, buy land, go travel. When you get 60 and 70, you can say, shit, I done did it all. I'm chilling now. But you gotta take care of yourself. I just turned 36 yesterday. I said, shit, man, I want to be in the best shape of my life as life goes on. I do not want to be like some family members have a bag of medicine and you barely get around because your joints and stuff bad. I said, fuck that, man. Life is too precious. You only get one chance to live, but I don't want to die prematurely from something stupid that I can try to prevent.
No, let me just say this. Shout out to Black Men's Travels. Great conversation, brothers. Black seed oil and Irish sea moss is good also. That's my brother, man, Aaron Ferris. He lightened it up in that Negro Manosphere group this morning with that post. Declaration: my father died of cancer in his 40s after hustling a lifetime of business for nothing, dying before he could enjoy the fruits of his labor. He worked to make sure his kids didn't repeat his mistakes, including health. Go ahead. Anybody want to weigh in on anything else? Was you, Brother Wrench, want to say something?
Yeah, man. Another thing, brothers got to think about too. And I'm not a health nut or a bodybuilding type dude. I played sports and had a regimen and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, brothers stack it on, and I'm talking about stacking on muscle or toning up, you know, more different than any other demographic, man. And I think if brothers understood, you know, you put in that work to get your body right, and once you see the results, man, it'll make you want to keep going. You know what I mean? It's one of the things that I was thinking about for myself. I was like, man, you know what? I need to go ahead and get and we have a workout facility in our neighborhood, kind of like a clubhouse type deal. But
Right.
I actually want to set my routine up where when I get off, I go to the gym, and when I leave the gym, I come home and I do these certain things, right? Just kind of trying to streamline my day more, because right now I just got a bunch of projects going on, and even though it's gratifying to me, I actually need to kind of put things in certain places. But the point that I'm trying to make is, as Black men, when you take your health serious and you put in the same focus as we have into our careers, you put that into your health, man, you see the results quick, and all races of women notice very quick. You know what I mean? So if you're a guy who 20, 30 pounds overweight, or even if you 80 to 100 pounds overweight, and you trim half of it off, I mean, man, it almost shave years. It almost shave years off of you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's another thing too. Like, brothers, once you commit to it and you start stacking it on. So if you're trying to bulk up and you're trying to get your chest to kind of stick out, like you just came out of boot camp or something, you can do it, man. You just have to commit to it and focus. And once you see those results, you'll want to take it to the next level, man.
Let me say this. I remember I want to say, like, all of us, for the most part, I think, my family is like lower middle class. So, but I mean, like, as far as, let's say, me making the kind of money that I'm making right now, like my dad kind of did, but he was already gone by then. But one of the problems that I want to say this with a lot of Black men is a lot of us come from nothing. Like, if you look at the NFL draft, the NBA draft, a lot of guys are crying and stuff like that. They come into something, never had nothing. I think a lot of times, because like some of my white friends that I know, are white guys I went to college with, rather, when they graduate, or guys in my medical school class or something like that, they're not in a rush to like tell anybody like I'm a doctor or I'm a lawyer or I'm whatever. But when you come from Del Paso Heights or something like that, or you come from like nothing, then it's like, I gotta tell my story. Like, a lot of guys even come on YouTube, bro. Like, a lot of the guys that are like public speakers, like, niggas sometimes will use a career out of that. Like, I came from this and look at where I'm at now. Like, I mean, it's a success story, right? And we live in America where everybody likes success stories. But tooting your own horn too much, like I said, I always keep in mind, man, there's somebody that's been through worse than what you've been through and did better than what you've been through. So just remember that. Expect high things of yourself, right? Like, even though I come from wherever I'm at, like, niggas be like, I was talking to my homeboys, like, man, you went from Del Paso Heights, you'd have been to Africa 11 times. I'm like, I expect that of myself. I actually should be doing more than that. So, wherever you at right now, you should already expect that where you're at is a great thing. And it's not good enough, because you know that you can do more to even where you're at right now. So, always remember that, because Kobe Bryant, he didn't go to Duke University or North Carolina, but yet he's one of the best basketball players we're talking about all the time. Tom Brady, you don't see him doing a lot of bragging. You just see him whooping people ass all the time. So, last words for any of you guys. You guys want to wait? Thank you for Tangeray. Any last words from brothers?
Oh no, man. Appreciate you brothers. Appreciate the contribution that all the brothers add to this show, man. And I know today wasn't it wasn't ratchet, or it wasn't littered with game from the standpoint of career growth, but we're talking about the most important part of growth, which is the stuff that we carry around with us all day. So hopefully this rings, hopefully this kind of encourages brother to any other brothers, encourage them to work on themselves, especially if you're at the point where you've met a lot of your goals and you've changed your financial situation. Take the time to focus on yourself, man, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what you find out about yourself. And it just make you that much more of a better man, that much more of a better person, so that you can attract better people in your life and in your circle.
All right, no doubt. Any last words? Oh, the doctor, D Darrell, he left. Shout out to D Darrell, man. Any last words, brothers?
I'm good.
I was just gonna say, real quick, just if you didn't get anything out of this, brothers, just remember just to lead with yourself. Your career shouldn't have to be the deciding factor as to a woman will deal with you or not, because your character should be the exact same whether you have money or you don't have money, or whether you have a title or you don't have a title. So just remember that you always just lead with yourself, because you should be selling you and not your title.
Okay, no, good information. You good, Doc?
I'm good. I appreciate it. Look forward to another one.
All right, so guys, let me tell you guys how it's probably gonna work. I wish I do wish I was in Poland, and I want people to think like I'm been neglecting the live stream or the show. But literally, when you get up in the morning at 5 or 6, like I do, to do something, and then Umeme, which is the damn power company here, goes out for 30 hours or 20 hours. And luckily, how we do it is the pre-recorded content comes first. So what we do is we have guys that are in the country that's in the in-home studio, and then we have guys that are editing like in Kenya. Dima's there. And so we have to get all the episodes out on Adobe Audition on Google Drive, but while the power is on. So at least when the power comes back on, there's episodes are already waiting from Kenya and Russia. So we have that. And then, then you have to download the video, upload the video. It takes 20 minutes to download any video, 20 minutes to upload another video, then do it again, and get the thumbnails ready for it. And then the next, it's a hassle being in Africa, right? Doing this shit. It's not like in Poland where I could download a gigabyte of video in 180 seconds. So, and then, so what happens is the live streams and things get cut out because of, the nature of running the business. Like running a YouTube channel is a business. It is not, it's like a store. Okay. You have inventory. We got, a list of who got what content needs thumbnails, where to put the ads at. It's a full scale on business. It's just like you in a store, so you got to cut it out and you got to get it out. And you got to upload it, do it. Power goes out, you lose 6 hours in a day, 7 hours and 8 hours in a day, and you got to catch up. So that's the reason why I haven't been doing the stream. So I'm busy every day, literally. Every day. There's no day that I'm not busy. Every single, I work 7 days a week, not one day off. Every day in the month, I'm working every single day. So, so guys, just bear with me with the live stream. We can do it. We can. Then we got the new Facebook group that we got going on. I know niggas is y'all in there. That actually takes some form of work there. You got the Patreon to keep up, the other channel. So thanks for the excuses. So, but I can't excuse the power shit. So if the power's on, I'll be here. But I do thank you, brothers, for enjoying the stuff. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow. If I'm not back tomorrow, you know why. You know why. If it's the same time and you don't hear from me, you know what happened. So, but thank you, brothers, for being faithful. I'll see you guys later. Peace out, and thanks again. Peace.
All right, brothers, y'all be cool.
Peace.
Big Smooth.